Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary, Ashton, and this is our NXT review. Another great episode of NXT. Top to bottom, we got another phenomenal women's match, showcasing the superiority of that division. We got breakups of teams. We had Old Stars returning, trying to get a resurgence of their careers started. We got storyline progressions. I mean, we pretty much just got everything in the show. I enjoyed every second of it. Ashton, what'd you think of it?
Oh, it was... Let me put it this way. I feel like we have to kind of somber down our mood a little bit because our Lucha Underground TWitWoW was so high energy and fast paced to match that show. This show, it wasn't high energy, it wasn't really high paced or fast paced, but what it was a really good storytelling show where they set up a lot of awesome stuff for the future.
Definitely. I think this was a show with a purpose.
Yeah.
Very grounded in that purpose.
This show felt like the first domino in a line of dominoes.
I'm not even going to add anything to that. That's a perfect soundbite. So with that said, let's get right into our first segment. Heat of the night. I don't have any heats of the night tonight. I enjoyed many things about this show. Some things had me bursting out laughing in the best possible way. So yeah, no complaints from me. Ashton, do you have any heats of the night tonight?
No, sir.
All right, then let us roll right on to our NXT review. And brother, how do we open up this show?
With cold open. I love it. Hideo Itami comes out. His entrance started the show off. I don't even think we got any kind of a recap before this happened. We just got right into the match. Hideo Itami comes out. Bull Dempsey comes out, and we kick things off.
Yeah, not really much to say about this match, guys. It's pretty much what you would expect from Bull Dempsey on his end. He really just kind of stuck to the power game, did his usual maneuvers. It was, I guess, interesting to see Itami up in this kind of mismatch, but it really wasn't that much of a mismatch, if you ask me, because if you look at the differences in ability, it's comical, really. And Itami just really cut Dempsey down to size. He ended things like that single leg kind of kick that he's been known to do, like off the ropes, and he gets the pinfall victory. Really, to me, it was the post-match that was more intriguing here, Ashton.
Yeah, because after the match, we had Hideo kind of celebrating and then kind of walking out, but next thing you know, Tyler Breeze, out of nowhere, attacks him, and he's proud of himself, so naturally he wants to take selfies. He starts putting that new feathered selfie stick to good use, but he uses it for more than just taking pictures of himself. He uses it as a way to see behind him because he realizes, oh crap, Hideo stood up and he's really angry, and uses that as an opportunity to try and run away.
And why I love this, I think it was so perfect for the character, because unless I missed something and I'm misinterpreting here, it seemed like Breeze was getting frustrated because he couldn't get Itami out of the shot, and of course Breeze being a narcissist, he wants all the attention on him, so he kept having to move a little bit and readjust the selfie stick so that it would just be him dominating the frame, and he wasted so much time trying to do that Itami got his wits about him, he recuperated, and then he started putting the boots to Breeze, but then Breeze is able to find an opening and get out of dodge. So yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I loved it. This was a really cool little, Tyler Breeze is smarter than anyone realizes kind of segment.
Yeah, definitely. And hell, you don't believe us, he'll tell you himself, because we got a little bit of a segment on that later where he kind of made that same point. So, good stuff here.
Yeah, and we go right from that into an announcement that next week Sasha Banks is going to be defending her title against Charlotte. So we really start the show off with a match, and then boom, right away with that announcement.
Yeah, definitely. NXT already for that match alone is going to be huge. I really hope that match is just the main event, just all around. That's what closes the show, because I know those women could tear the house down. I'm very much looking forward to Sasha Banks' first NXT Women's Championship defense.
Absolutely. But we go from that to yet another sort of pre-taped package kind of thing. teaching us or reteaching us, for those of us who were around for his first run, just what the Brian Kendrick is all about.
I love this.
Yes.
I think this is so smart because, I mean, I think NXT understands that for just as many, like, old school fans that they may be reeling back with their quality of wrestling, they realize that it is a newer fan base. And introductions like this, you said it best, Ashton, it was a video package. It was a quick reintroduction, doesn't take that long, doesn't take a lot of effort to do, and it achieves its job very well. I thought this was a very well done package. And yeah, it just gets everybody reacquainted with the Brian Kendrick.
Absolutely. I love that because here's the thing. With Rhyno, it doesn't really matter if you know what he's about. He shows up and you kind of just see, oh, he's a big, scary guy that likes to just football tackle people into death.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Brian Kendrick, that's a lot more three-dimensional kind of character that you really do kind of need to learn, like, what is this character all about before you see him and can appreciate what he does.
Well, yeah, he's certainly got a lot more flair, a lot more flamboyance to him than a Rhyno, who's very straightforward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely think you see the dichotomy there and why one would need a video package and the other one is just, could speak for himself in just a matter of seconds. So, yeah, good stuff. And then we roll right on to what?
Our second match of the night, we had the Lucha Dragons come out. John and I are speculating who are they going against. Is it going to be the Vaudevillains? Is it going to be Blake and Murphy again? But no. We kind of forgot that these guys were still a thing. I personally thought that one of them was a heel and the other one was a babyface before this, so I didn't understand. I definitely didn't expect them to be coming out together. Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger. These guys are back together, however temporarily that might have been.
Yeah, and they seem promising, at least at the start. Jordan has really got Kalisto grounded, and these guys really seem to have an aggressive open, but it doesn't take long for the Lucha Dragons to do what they do best, and they're working over Ty Dillinger, but then, there comes a point Ty Dillinger kind of regains control, and Jason Jordan saying, well, hey, Ty, tag me back in, and then Ty's just like, relax, I got this.
I love that, and dude, that's the thing, he said that after a few times, because Jason Jordan actually asked for a tag like 2 or 3 times prior to Dillinger kind of snapping and verbally being like, just relax, okay? Because you could tell Dillinger felt like, even though the Lucha Dragons were getting offense, you could tell every time Dillinger kind of retook control of the match, he never felt like he lost it in the first place. So he was very confident about his ability to handle the Lucha Dragons, and Jordan was taking it a lot more seriously, and he was, no, we need to tag frequently, we need to keep each other fresh, that kind of thing. So they just kind of had a difference of opinion here, and when Dillinger finally decided that he wanted to go for a tag, Jordan just dropped off the apron and walked out.
Yeah, and you could hear him saying, like, I don't need you, and making the hand motions like, just like, so done with this. And that's when the Lucha Dragons were able to put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. I believe Sin Cara hit his top rope senton, and that's what gets the pin off.
Well, yeah, he hit that after Kalisto got Salida del Sol.
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you, man, Lucha Dragons are bad for tag teams. I mean, they've broken up here, Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger. They definitely started the downward spiral and planting the seeds of doubt into the Vaudevillains. They ended the Ascension's NXT Tag Team Championship reign, and they moved out to the main roster, and I think that explains itself. Yeah. Lucha Dragons are bad for tag teams, man, I'm telling you. Oh, man.
It's a good thing they're not champions anymore, because if I were a tag team in NXT, I would never want to face them.
I know, right? I would just be like, I love you too much, man. I think we should just be content with our spot on the card. We don't want those tag titles. But at least Blake and Murphy are doing okay.
And then they break up because the other guy wants to be a tag team champion more than anything. And then we can still say that the Lucha Dragons, even the thought of them, ruins tag teams.
Lucha Dragons ruining lives since our debut. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah. And then I think... Do we have, like, a backstage segment in between this and Dillinger throwing his little hissy fit?
No. This goes, we had a commercial, but then we got right into Dillinger. He cuts a promo demanding that Jason Jordan explains himself, and he said that he doesn't care whose match is next. He'll fight whoever. Next thing you know, cue that motorcycle revving up noise, and it's Baron Corbin.
And I love Dillinger's face, too, because he's like, oh, I misspoke.
His facial expressions are amazing, John.
Yes, we know, Ashton, because I'm telling you, when this guy gets his push, we'll all remember that you were Ty Dillinger fan 0.
I was. You're freaking right, man. Well, no, I wasn't either, because you liked him back when he was Gavin Spears in ECW.
I didn't even know it was a thing until a few days ago when we talked about it. Crown jewel my ass. Well, oh man, and you know what? That's probably what Ty Dillinger's going to be for me. That new guy that I laugh at his misfortunes. If we just get him in a neck brace and push him off the stage in a wheelchair, he'll be the next Zack Ryder, and I'll be complete.
How dare you? He's so much more talented than that jobber.
I know, which makes it all the more hilarious. You can literally hear the potential being pissed away.
You have problems.
I do. But my solution is Baron Corbin, because,
Of course. He's the solution to every problem.
Indeed he is.
You know what else is a good solution to every problem? 29 seconds.
20, yeah, that's right, because that's all you need.
Of course that's all you need. He just worked an entire match practically by himself against 2 guys.
Well,
I demand a rematch. I want Dillinger fresh to go against Corbin.
Of course you do, so it can be 30 seconds.
I couldn't even understand what you just said.
I said, of course you do, so it could be 30 seconds instead of 29.
No, maybe it'd be 3 minutes.
Maybe, but I actually
maybe he'd give Corbin his longest match since Adrian Neville.
But maybe, and maybe I could say this with a straight face. Let me try. I actually have to give Ty Dillinger some credit because he did get some offense. He actually got a side headlock.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he got a side headlock, but then it all went down.
That's not even offense. That's just neutral game, man.
It didn't even do anything except prolong the inevitable. And by the inevitable, I mean the end of days.
That was just him trying to prevent Corbin from getting offense.
Yeah, that's pretty much everyone's game plan when they hear that music.
Which is an amazing theme song, by the way. CFO Money has been nothing but money for so long now.
I know, dude. Definitely. Completely agree with you on all counts. So yeah, Baron Corbin rolls around through. It'll be nice to, Ashton, wait, we need to backtrack just a little bit.
Do we?
We do, because during, I think, Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan's entrance, we got a Solomon Crow cut-in, remember?
Oh, we did, didn't we? Yes.
And he said it was so good because, what did he say?
He said last week was nothing but the beginning, and that the end of the road was him holding the NXT championship.
Yes.
There was more to it than that, but I don't.
He said, I can't call it mission accomplished, I think was the start of it, because the end game was the NXT championship, and that was just the first step.
Right.
So he's made his intentions crystal clear. I'm telling you guys, I've seen this guy compete for well over a year when he was in Jersey. Heel turn is coming. I feel it. This guy, I don't think really will do that.
How are you going to call it a heel turn? Isn't he kind of already a heel?
I guess, but I'm telling you, he's going to start doing dastardly stuff. I feel it. I think this gimmick almost calls for it. So yeah, I did want to bring attention to that because he made his intentions quite clear. CJ Parker was just child's play. You know who else went that exact same route? Kevin Owens. Yeah, got through CJ Parker first and then went right after the NXT championship. So CJ Parker could
but at least CJ Parker got offense on him. He did bust his nose open.
Yeah, that is true. So now CJ Parker could at least brag about, wait. If you want to get to the NXT title, you have to go through me. Oh, God, no. And then, yeah, you know the rest. Yeah. But,
and I think so does CJ, but he's still willing to accept it.
Yeah, exactly. So I did just want to talk about that very quickly because I didn't want us to gloss that over. But yeah, Baron Corbin does get the win. I'm curious.
CJ Parker, NXT's bottom bitch.
It's so true on so many levels. It'll be interesting to see when Baron Corbin regains a definitive direction, like what his next program will be.
Yeah.
I mean, you know he's going to be NXT champion eventually. I mean, I just look at Baron Corbin.
I don't know. Roman Reigns was never NXT champion before he got called up, and Baron Corbin's in that same mold.
That's true. I don't know, though. See, I think Roman Reigns is a very special case because, I mean, we know what he would end up doing. I don't know if you have anything that badass planned.
Yeah, I mean, he did end up debuting on the main roster, like, 2 months after he debuted on NXT.
Yeah, so it was like, suck that, Kevin Owens. You want to talk about doing things in 2 months?
I mean, granted, it was after like 3 years at FCW, but still, pretty impressive.
Definitely. So it'll be interesting to see where Baron Corbin goes from here. But for now, I'm just interested in seeing him just stack up those bodies. Just so good.
Yep, absolutely. Up next, we had a Devin Taylor interview with Charlotte, who says that Sasha has never beaten her one-on-one and that the title's coming back to where it belongs, which is kind of ironic because I think the title is already where it belongs, Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly. And nice toot at the end there because she definitely deserves it. But more importantly, I found the line interesting. Nothing is certain in life except for one thing, and that's the championship is coming home. So nothing is certain except for the one thing that you wanted to make certain. How about you speak correctly, Charlotte, especially when you're addressing your superior, known as Sasha Banks. You make me sick. Sorry.
Who's the heel here?
I definitely am.
That's not what I meant. I meant in this feud.
Oh, that obviously that's what you were talking about. I don't know.
Wow, paranoid much?
Yeah, definitely I have issues. But, I mean, actually, it's kind of a legitimate question, isn't it? Because fans have definitely warmed up to Sasha Banks. I mean, it's not like
also warmed up to Charlotte, though.
That is true. But see, I already feel like they were kind of warm to Charlotte. It's more significant for Sasha Banks because I feel like she had to make that kind of turn to show people, like, yeah, I am this good. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond next week. I'm hoping for a pro-Sasha crowd, and I'll probably
it'll be a split crowd. Sure.
It'll be a split crowd. But, hopefully Sasha retains. I have no reason to think why she won't. She can finally beat Charlotte one-on-one and shut up her trap about that. Oh, she's never beaten me one-on-one. Well, yeah, now she will.
She might not have ever beaten you one-on-one yet, but she's still pinned you twice, including once for the championship.
I feel like we just need Tyson Kidd to just come in and be like, fact. But, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that matchup next week.
Yeah, absolutely. But we go from one promo segment to another because Tyler Breeze has some information for Hideo Itami.
He's just like louder, but it's like, oh, Hideo Itami, you fell right into my trap.
And you're going to end up getting squashed in it like the cockroach that you are.
All the while he's got semi-duck face going on, and I'm like, oh, Breeze, you're just too good.
He thinks he's smarter than everyone else. Meanwhile, he's just trying to shove that square peg into the round hole.
So true. It's so futile. Oh, man. I really have nothing else to say than that. I mean, we all know how it's going to end. It's going to be a great matchup, man, but you can't stop Itami. I feel bad just thinking about it. Your chest is just going to be wrecked. I mean, you don't even know what you've signed up for. Who would want to do it a third time?
I was going to say, of course he knows what he's signed up for. He's already fought him twice.
I mean, when have you had enough? But, yeah, it really should. That should be another great matchup. And that's the thing, like, it's weird the slack that I'm willing to cut NXT, because I mean, you could see that match 3 times. We saw Baron Corbin bull Dempsey 3 times. And yet I'm willing to give it that room because I know that it's at least going to be entertaining or at the very least, serve the purpose that it has to. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the end game is here. I'm still waiting for Marcus Louis to reemerge and exact his vengeance on Breeze. Maybe that's what this third match is for. But we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go from that to our third match of the night, Bayley versus Becky Lynch. And dude, this match was solid. But before we talk about the match, can we just kind of recognize that Corey Graves has the most hilarious hate boner for Becky Lynch?
Yes, Corey Graves is so good, especially when it comes talking about Becky Lynch.
It's amazing.
I mean, he really just came right out and said, I don't really like Becky Lynch the person, but, Becky Lynch is a competitor. She's pretty awesome, more or less. And we're just all like, yeah, Corey, you pretty much got it there. But yeah, this is a nice back and forth matchup, but I gotta say, and they did some good stuff here. They noted how Bayley was more aggressive in parts and how she's no longer the star-struck, female, and she's trying to carve her own path. And the crowd definitely still seems to be responding well to Bayley and everything. I just don't know what it is. It's just like, I'm guessing maybe her stock has dropped, and maybe she has to build herself back up. Because even though they went hard, I mean, let's just call it for what it is, Ashton. Becky Lynch wins again.
But she did win with a freaking awesome submission.
Yeah, it was like an armbar.
That's the secret, John. That's why Bayley hasn't been winning. She doesn't have any submissions in her arsenal.
Maybe she'll learn one. I mean, maybe that's what this is leading up to, because Becky Lynch has now tapped her out twice. The first one was with the leg submission, when that was being worked over. And then the other time when she, had a little bump with her arm, and then Becky Lynch sees the opportunity on that, which I have to give Becky Lynch credit for that. For as much as we can rag on her for other things, when she notices a bullseye, even if it comes, mid-match, she is so incisive on it. I love the psychology from Becky Lynch to be able to really pinpoint a body part. And,
she has all the in-ring psychology in the world, but she really needs to work on her character psychology.
And then that's just, and even there, we've said, her promos aren't horrendous or anything. It's just, control yourself in your mannerisms. If you do that, I promise you, you will be perfect. She's so good in so many ways. I even hate, when we have to rag on her when we do, but we're just being honest. But yeah, she gets the submission with an armbar looking submission. It kind of reminded me of Pentagon Jr. submission a little bit, but not quite.
Yeah, at first it was just a Fujiwara armbar, but then she quickly rotated around into a straight up seated armbar. She was sitting on Bayley's shoulder and cranking the arm upwards. I was wondering if she had been possessed by Yugi Nagata or something like that. She was freaking ridiculous.
Right. And it really has to be said, Becky Lynch has Bayley's number. Bayley has just not been able to crack the conundrum of Becky Lynch. And you have to wonder, with Becky getting this victory, however the NXT Women's Championship match shakes out next week, does Becky Lynch have a claim to be number one contender? So, that's kind of my question after this match.
And that's an effective question.
There you go. So I would certainly think so. I would think Bayley, and this is not to poke fun of her, although I know it's going to come off horrible. She'll probably cut another promo about how, I'll get back in the fight eventually. And, she'll just have to fight from the bottom because, to me, she just really has no momentum left. She's got to start from square one.
Is Bayley the closest thing in NXT to John Cena?
You know what? Probably.
Except she loses a lot more.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so weird to say that when Sami Zayn is a thing, but Sami Zayn adapted it just the perfect time. It's crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, I personally, I say Becky Lynch number one contender, and then we go there. So yeah.
Interesting. I would definitely like to see Sasha versus Becky. I'm sure they put on some very compelling matches.
Well, it would be an interesting story, right? Given the affiliation they have in Hell.
Yeah, because it's like the apprentice versus the master, right?
Exactly, and hell, while we're on that subject very quickly, I think it was Corey Graves and Tom Phillips, in tandem bringing up how they still have a working relationship. I think Sasha approached Becky and said, hey, I'm the champion now. I got to protect my investment. If you watch my back, I'll watch your back. And not really good having somebody watch your back when we're on the same collision course as you are. So that may be where this all goes.
Well, maybe that just means that Becky Lynch isn't going to challenge for the title. I don't know.
Maybe, but
maybe our next contender, if they want to keep Sasha heel, will be Alexa Bliss.
See, and I know you've been kind of calling for that. Where is Alexa Bliss? And maybe this is the time for her stock to kind of rise so we get a fresh challenger, a fresh perspective. But it'll be very interesting if they go the Becky Lynch way. And the only reason I think it makes sense is it would go contrary to everything she's been saying if she would say, no, I think I'm just going to ride this wave with Sasha and just reap all the benefits there, because she has said, I came here to be at the top, I came here to be champion. And I think, there's going to be a conflict of interest there. And I'm interested to see how NXT handles that. Yeah,
that's a good point. I won't dispute that. Up next, we had another Devin Taylor interview backstage, but this time with Rhyno. And this was really cool because he basically spent this promo just putting over the sort of the atmosphere and the talent in NXT. And he said that he's here to climb to the top and he was going to do it with the gore.
Yeah, more or less. I really loved what he did here because it wasn't about getting himself over. He said, hey, everywhere I go, all I hear is, NXT's amazing, NXT. And so I checked it out and he said, I saw, the intensity in their eyes and the fire they possessed. and I possess those same qualities. So if you want to be something, if you want to get something go over yourself, you come here. And I love that. I love that he really made it seem like NXT is the place to be if you want to be worth anything at all. So good stuff here by Rhyno. So.
Yeah. I wish Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett would be in NXT.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started, because if those guys would ever end up in NXT, I would be all in. Mike Bennett is such a great talent. It really is sad that he's not in NXT. And you know that I've kept pushing for Chuck Taylor as like the next big comedy act and stuff like that, but I know that'll never happen either.
Chuck Taylor and Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, bring them up as a team, man. You know, bring more depth to that tag division. Oh, it'd be so good. They'd get so over.
And they're not like the Young Bucks either. They don't have to stay a team. They would just be best as one.
Exactly. And you're absolutely right there. So, yeah. But, hey, you know, we can dream another day. It'll make me too heartsick to think about what could be right now. It may still be down the line. You never know.
Which is ridiculous, because everything that we have now is still so good.
I know, right? We really are spoiled when it comes to NXT, because it's like, man, this is so excellent. But have you seen this? And it's just like, wow.
Yeah, like, my only question is, how is Brian Cage not in NXT?
I know, dude. At least he's in a great
I mean,
place
they took long enough to get on the Uhaa Nation bandwagon, but...
Oh, I can't wait to see him debut.
I know, right? But Brian Cage, though? Good God.
Uhaa Nation. Didn't you once say, Ashton, that Uhaa Nation was everything that they wanted Bobby Lashley to be? Wasn't that a soundbite from you? Yeah.
He is everything, because here's my thing, because Bobby Lashley has an amazing look, and he's shockingly good in the ring for someone his size, but he has two major flaws. First of all, his face looks like he's constantly constipated. And second of all, his voice sounds like he just got kicked in the nuts.
I don't know how to add to the discourse with that, but
Uhaa Nation doesn't have either one of those problems, and he's just as good in the ring, if not better. He's physically just as good athletically, if not better. He's got just as good of a look, if not better, and he doesn't have the smushed-in face and the high voice.
And see, for you, like, it's a smushed-in face for a high voice, and I guess mine just kind of compounds those things. But for me, I just always felt like Bobby Lashley never had a personality. He was one of those guys that he was never going to have charisma get him over. It was going to be his physical feats getting him over. And to a degree, I was right, because, I mean, they still have as a highlight reel, like, Bobby Lashley taking all of his body weight over the cage wall when he was feuding with Umaga, that whole clip on ECW, and it just, like, he was an athlete, and he was a freak, and, you know, it was the athleticism that was going to get him over. Whereas Uhaa Nation, it's kind of the same thing, but I've heard promos that he's cut, because you and I have watched, like, footage together, and I do think there's a personality there. So I think Uhaa Nation is going to go very far, and I think the only thing that makes this a discussion appropriate, considering that Rhyno cut a promo, is that he did talk about the fire and intensity that NXT has, and how it's like kind of a proving ground. And considering these guys that have yet to come, I can't wait to see what they make of it. So,
right.
Yeah.
That's another thing. How did Kenny King end up auditioning for Tough Enough and never getting a contract to WWE?
Dude, that's another just big mystery for the TWitWoW archives, I guess, because I don't know. He's so good and has such an upside.
And he's so misused in TNA.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. We have this freakishly athletic 33-year-old with a ton of natural charisma. MVP main events.
Yeah, pretty much. It is criminal how Kenny King is used in TNA. And honestly, with how NXT is right now, and you said 33, I mean, that is the age of the Itamis, the Balors, and all them. Kenny King, I would love for him to be able to call NXT home.
I think that's how right in right now. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, 33. God, that was a shot in the dark. Man, I'm good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that goes without saying. But, I mean, Kenny King would certainly feel right at home at NXT, I think. But again, what could have been. So, moving on to what actually is, was this our main event of the evening? Or did we have something before this?
Well, up next we had the backstage Jason Jordan thing.
That's right. And it said, Jason Jordan, you know, you left Ty Dillinger high and dry out there. Why'd you walk out on your partner? And he said, you know, I did what I did, and as for my reasons, I'll explain myself when I'm ready. So already better than the post-PTB breakup from, breakup promo from Titus O'Neil when he did it, because, God, that was awful. But, yeah, good stuff from Jordan here. Kept it nice and succinct. Shoot Nation, imminent.
I hope so.
Definitely. I'm so excited for that group. Like, I'm pumped for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, the more time goes on without me seeing them, the more pumped I get for them.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like the hype is building.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like the same way that frickin' Dean Ambrose was for the main roster, because he never showed up on NXT. So it was like the hype just got to build and build and build.
And yeah, I mean, it got exacerbated then with the whole Mick Foley and everything else, whereas here, I mean, we already I forget the guy's name, and I feel horrible about it. He had his matchup a few weeks ago, I think, against Tyler Breeze. Who's the leader of the Shoot Nation again? I'm trying to think. His name's not coming to me, and I feel awful about it. But yeah,
Dig Rawless?
Was it Dig Rawless? You know what?
Scott Dawson?
No, it certainly wasn't Scott Dawson.
Chad Gable.
It was Chad. Yes, Chad Gable. That's who it was.
How do I know everyone in the Shoot Nation already?
That's crazy. That's good stuff. And yeah, Chad Gable had his match against Tyler Breeze. We both thought he had a very interesting outing, and ever since then, I've just been waiting for the pieces to come together. So now this walkout is just really confirmation. Like, yep, it is imminent now. So I'm very excited.
I don't understand why both these guys aren't in that stable, though, because isn't Ty Dillinger also a former amateur college athlete?
Yeah, he is, but, you know, I think his audition was against, you know, Baron Corbin, and I guess it didn't go so well. So.
Wow, John.
Shoot Nation! I'm pumped, so yeah, let's do it.
Okay, now up next, we did have our main event, the Brian Kendrick versus Finn Balor, with Kevin Owens on commentary.
Did you see what this guy did here, guys? He emphasized the get it right commentary. Jesus. But in all seriousness, this was a really fun matchup. I liked how, you know, Balor and Kendrick started off, because they started off the same way, you know, like any match, it's going to be of a higher pace starts off. They keep it very grounded. They actually exchange holds, you know, all that good stuff. All the while, Kevin Owens is killing it on commentary. You know, there are so many great douchebags in professional wrestling right now, but I don't think any is douchier than Kevin Owens. He's just a whole new brand of douche unto himself. It's glorious. It almost brings a tear to my eye. It really does. But, you know, meanwhile, there was one great moment here between Balor and Kendrick, where Kendrick looked like he tweaked his knee, and, you know, Balor was just kind of backing off, giving him space, and Kevin Owens was just like, see, why isn't he capitalizing on that? Why isn't he taking advantage of that? And it shows that Kendrick was just being, you know, the wily fox, you know, just, you know, waiting for his moment to strike. And he does, and he takes Balor down. And Kevin Owens is like, see, that right there is why he won't beat me, and he'll never be an NXT champion.
I loved that. He took that one little instance of Balor showing even the slightest little bit of humanity, and turns it into, that right there is why he's never going to beat me and never be NXT champion. I love it.
You know what I loved even more than that, though, Ashton? The burn that Kevin Owens got on Alex Riley during commentary. Because as the match is picking up there,
Which one?
Alex Riley is kind of pressing Kevin Owens. He was like, well, you know, Kevin, I mean, we get you saying, like, you know, you did it for your family and everything, and they asked how that felt, and he said, oh, well, I felt vindicated, you know, my wife and my son get to see this. And then Alex Riley chooses to sully a good atmosphere and say, well, yes, Kevin, that's what you're telling us, but how could you feel good about yourself doing that to a man that you called your friend? You know, I mean, how could you do that? And Kevin Owens not taking kindly to that, because I think he's getting sick of being questioned for the millionth time. How could you do that to Sami Zayn? Pretty much turns around and says, you know, I did what I had to do to win this and become a champion and provide for my family. I mean, you wouldn't know anything about that, Alex Riley, because you're not a champion. In fact, you've never been a champion, and you'll never be a champion in NXT. And Alex Riley's face.
I know! He was so salty, and then he even came back with the saltiest of responses. Well, you may be right. I may have never won the championship. I may have never been an NXT champion, but I am a man. And then there was this long, awkward pause, like, who is he trying to convince here? And then he goes, and as a man, I would have never done that to a friend. And then that was when Kevin Owens just got this look on his face like, bitch, please.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. I was busy scouting my opponent because I have a championship defense to get ready for. I mean, you wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Riley? But yeah. It was great. Just seeing Riley get his ass handed to him verbally when he is normally such a pompous douche was just so great. And see, that's another thing. Douches pretty much absorb other douchebags. Like, Kevin Owens just took all of Alex Riley's douche away from him, and now he's super mega ultra douche, level 5.
Like,
So,
well, I mean, you said super. He's like Super Boot. He has the ability to absorb other people's douchiness.
yeah, see, and now Alex Riley is what he's always been. You know, just a sad man with a career.
Low man on the totem pole.
Low man on the totem pole.
He's gonna go have a meeting with CJ Parker to determine who the real bottom bitch of NXT is.
Yeah, how's that Free Riley campaign going for you? That Kevin Owens killed all that momentum. But meanwhile, back in the match, Kendrick and Balor are still going at it. Kendrick gets a calf kick at one point, and it seems like he's really turned the tide. Gets to the point where he actually tries going for the Kendrick, otherwise known as the sliced bread number 2.
Yeah.
Doesn't connect. And ultimately, like, Finn Balor does retake control. He gets the sling blade. He gets the drop kick in the corner, and he hits the coup de grace, the double foot stomp.
The coup de Gracie.
Exactly. For the victory. So Finn Balor is just rolling right on through.
But let's not allow ourselves to skip over an important fact. During this match, right after the awkward exchange between Owens and Riley, we went to a commercial and had a Sasha versus Charlotte hype package in the middle of the main event.
Yeah, we did. Oh, God, it's going to be so good.
I'm telling you, man, I think it's going to main event next week. I think it really is. I really do think it is.
If it does, the saltiness with the main roster divas, they are probably going to stew. They get a whole main event segment. We get 30 seconds. It's...
Yeah.
An injustice of the highest order. So yes, Ashton is right. I'm so happy they got a video package. They certainly deserve it, and everything else they have gotten for the record because they're amazing. So yeah, Balor gets the win. Kevin Owens had left commentary after his awkward exchange with Riley, and then I love Corey Graves who's like, "Way to go, Riley!"
Yeah,
like,
I know, right? And Owens even said that he's going to leave before he does something he might regret. So he kind of teased at that earlier on the night too.
Yeah, and I guess Kevin Owens' conscience pretty much just said, "Screw it, I'm going to do what I want," because he reappears. He has a stare down with Balor, and then he goes over to the commentary area.
Are you going to be able to get through this, John?
I think I am. And I'm only laughing because of Riley, actually. Because he actually, I think, moves his chair back and kind of gives Kevin Owens this look. As if he knows that Kevin Owens is there for him, but he's going to press the issue anyway like a moron. And he's like, "Oh, well, what is it? What is it about?" And then I'll tell you what it's about. Kevin Owens grabbed you out of your chair and launched you via Mark Henry like he did that one production guy. Right over the table. Oh, man. Then Balor's like, why you gotta do that, Kevin? Kevin just walked off.
I love, too, that Balor the whole time was just, like, posing and, like taunting Kevin Owens. Like, come on, man, let's fight. Owens grabs Riley. What are you doing? Let's go. I want to fight you, man. He tosses him over the table. All right, man, now you got that out of your system. Now, come on, let's go. Let's fight. I want to fight you, man. Come on. It's just so good.
And see, and that's why, like, it was comical here and I could let it go, but I'm telling you, like, that is, I mean, the nitpickiest of nitpicks, admittedly, but I hate that wrestlers treat the ring like it's some kind of barrier, like, oh, damn these ropes, if only I could slide under them or walk, through them, my opposition is right there. I mean, sure, he broke my neck and robbed, like, 2 years of my career, but, this cursed barrier. Like, really? Just do your business.
Yeah, that's a major problem for Dean Ambrose, I think.
Yeah, it's like, Dean, you're so much better than this. That ring ain't got nothing on you. Just walk. I promise you, nothing's gonna happen. But yeah, Finn Balor just kind of does the same thing. Now, granted, I'm happy he showed restraint because I really thought Riley was gonna get abused even more, and I didn't want us to miss out. But yeah, Kevin Owens was satisfied with his handiwork. Just like, yeah, took care of this scrub. I'll see you whenever you decide to cash in your title match. Owens out, and he just leaves.
He just bails, man. He
yeah,
does not give a crap.
He's just done. He's like, I'm too over for this shit. Alright, and that's pretty much NXT. So, Ashton, do you have any concluding remarks or any little shots you want to take at Riley before we move on to our next segment?
Oh, I'm looking forward to him actually deciding to get back in the ring with Kevin Owens.
Those power bombs, though.
I hope Owens brings back the package pile driver just for Riley.
And you know what? Let's just continue this momentum, shall we? Because our next segment is high spots and low shots, and that just convinces me. My low shot is Alex Riley.
I love it.
You're the help. Know your goddamn place. What the hell is wrong with you? Mouthing off to Kevin Owens. Let me tell you something, Alex Riley. You know who you always job to? It's called the pecking order. And Kevin Owens just re-educated your ass. It was so great seeing him vaulted over the announce table. I was actually really hoping he'd get powerbombed through it. That would honestly be my nitpick for the night, that I didn't get what I wanted, because I'm just so horrible and have problems. But yeah, Alex Riley's my low shot because he didn't know his place. Who's your low shot?
My low shot's Ty Dillinger.
That was so hard for you, wasn't it?
It wasn't hard for me to pick him. It's just hard for me to bear with him being put in a position to be picked in that.
You know what? In all seriousness, I do see an upside, like, after he gets through this whole Jordan angle, because I do think with the Jordan angle, it will be about getting the Shoot Nation over. After that, though, I really do believe, like, it's wide and clear pastures for Ty Dillinger, and we'll see what he does after the fact. Because he really does have an upside. I mean, all kidding aside, all laughs out of my system, he's certainly very talented. So I would hope that he does get treated, better after this, and maybe they repackage him, and maybe he has a new gimmick. I don't know, maybe he just keeps doing what he's doing. Because I could see after he's done this, maybe they, kind of work on him a little bit, and he debuts as some kind of fresh new thing. So I'm actually very intrigued where he'll go from here, but for now, yeah, definitely a great choice for your low shot. My high spot, I'd love to be consistent and pick Kevin Owens, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think my high spot, you know what, my high spot's Becky Lynch, actually.
I like it.
She meets
channeling her inner Yuji Nagata.
Exactly. She meets up with Bayley again, and here I'm thinking, well, Bayley's so beloved, Sasha's the champion. It seems pretty obvious throughout they're going to go. And see, that's why I love NXT, because it's like you can take the obvious and you can shove it. Because by any other accounts, Bayley would have won this match here. But that's not what happened. I'm telling you, I'm convinced. Becky Lynch has Bayley's number. I don't know what that means for Bayley. For me personally, I think it means that she starts fighting back at the bottom. But now Becky Lynch finds herself in a very unique position. And if I'm her, I'm watching that title match very closely next week, because I think I just earned my claim to be next in line. Because all four women were in that fatal four-way, and to me, she just beat one of the competitors. Now she just has to beat the other. Hell, maybe she'll beat the loser, down the road, and then she'll really have a claim to contendership. But Becky Lynch is very interesting, and that's why she's my high spot.
Yeah, I can get into that. I think my high spot is going to be Finn Balor, because we have our returning hero, Brian Kendrick, comes back. I don't know if it'll be one night only, but if it was, then I can say one night only, and if it wasn't, then I can say the return of the Brian Kendrick in what is hopefully a long line of other great matches. Balor had a really solid match with him. I don't know if Kendrick was rusty at all, but if he was, you couldn't tell, because Balor did a great job. And Balor, at the end of the night, he won. And he avoided being the victim of a Kevin Owens beatdown because he had Alex Riley in his place.
Oh, man, that's wonderful. Yeah, great pick. I agree. I think Finn Balor, they're really trying to make him seem like a legitimate contender, and hell, it's not even really that hard. Because Finn Balor's already legit. It's not like you need to do this massive undertaking to be like, okay, guys, we really want to sell this story. No, Finn's already got a lot going for him. I just think it's cool that he gets a win like this, even though the height of Kendrick's career was being the longest reigning tag team champion and really didn't have many great singles exploits besides being WWE champion for 15 minutes.
Weren't he and London at one point the longest reigning champions on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Isn't that their gimmick at one point?
Yeah. That was their thing until they lost it to Deuce and Domino.
Hey, I like Deuce and Domino. I don't care what anyone says.
That crap.
JBL buried them on commentary, too.
He's 2 for 2, Moggle. But, yeah. Good stuff. I personally was a fan of the Brian Kendrick gimmick anyway, so I kind of got to be a little market, and I'd be like, oh, the Brian Kendrick. And I hope it's not the last appearance, but if it is, great job putting a guy like Balor over, and I'm just really looking forward to the inevitable collision between him and Kevin Owens.
Yep. I dig it.
All right.
Dig it!
With that said, do you have anything else you want to say about this episode of NXT?
Raw requit. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So with that said, guys, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. What did you guys think of Becky Lynch versus Bayley? Who do you think is going to be the next number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship? What did you think about Kevin Owens re-educating Alex Riley on the pecking order? Do I have problems? Do you know a good therapist? Comment on it all down below. Be sure also to take the conversation to TWitWoW, an amazing pro wrestling group. I swear to you a million times, nicest people you'll ever meet, and you'll realize why you love wrestling so much is interacting with people like that, like you find on TWitWoW. So, with that said, guys, that concludes our NXT review. And, Ashton, let me ask real quick, because I know you made mention of it to me on NXT. Can we formally announce that we've got a live reactions upcoming this week? For that Yeah! Okay. Just wanted to confirm. Yeah, me and Ashton were talking over. ROH has a show coming up this Sunday, and we have decided that we are going to do live reactions. What's the name of the show, Ashton?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, you know that it's an ROH show, and honestly, given their track record of shows that we've personally watched, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be good, whatever the hell its name is. So you can look forward to that.
I know it's in Vegas, though.
Okay.
Oh, it's the 13th anniversary show.
Okay, see, yeah, you know it's going to be can't miss content. As always, you know what TWitWoW gives you. So, and then, after that, we get back to our formal reviews with our Monday Night Raw review, where it's probably just going to be something for 3 hours. We don't know. But ROH live reactions, people, get pumped. So until then, we will see you Sunday. And while you wait, you just know what to do. Tune in. Peace out.